Hi everyone, this is Denise with Liquid Color, and today's review is going to be on the Sennelier paints. Now this review was made possible by Coloring Caria. I'm going to go ahead and put her page up in the top on a little card for you, as well as in the description below. And she has a YouTube channel where she reviews mostly coloring books and then supplies to use adult coloring books. So she loves these watercolors so much that she wanted to send them over to me so that I could do a review for you all. I didn't own any of these paints before, although I did send away for a sampler before she contacted me about this review to the company itself, and they sent out this little packet, and this has some of their tube paints in it. So I have 3 other colors in addition to the Aqua-Mini Sennelier kit to look at today. I'm going to go ahead and take these out of the wrappers, and they're really interesting little tubes here. I'm not sure how much paint is actually in them. And I'm going to go ahead and swatch those out so you can see them. I've already swatched out the Aqua-Minis, and we'll do our color comparison right after this. So just so you guys know, Sennelier is the French company, and it is a honey-based watercolor, which I know is a big deal for them. On the back, they show you all the colors that are in their line, and they don't tell you by name, but they do have, each one is numbered for their company. So this Sennelier blue is 344, which if we find on the chart here is right in this location. So if you wanted to see what some of their other colors are, I believe that this is available on their website as well. So these are the 3 that come in the sampler pack that I got directly from Sennelier. I didn't mention that I was a YouTuber. I just asked if they had any samples, and this is what they sent. So I assume that you could also write them and ask for a sampler as well. They do have one of each of the primary colors, sort of. They have Opera Rose as their magenta, which is a fugitive color, so I'm not really sure why they include it in their sampler. It's a pretty bright pink that I assume that a lot of floral painters would really like. I don't have a lot of uses for this color, and I don't have anything to compare it to show you. Their yellow is really lovely. This is PY 153, and my favorite yellow is PY 154, which is similar. And then I also have this Sennelier blue here, and this is a nice vibrant blue cyan color, and I'm going to come back to this when we compare it in the Aqua-Mini set, because this looks quite a bit different than the same color in their set, but we're going to come back to that. Alright, so I'm going to set these aside. We're going to take a look at the Aqua-Mini. So this is the set that Caria sent to me. Now she has used this before I got it, and then I also swatched out with it, so the palette is a little bit messy, and clearly some of the paint is missing. It comes with this teeny tiny little brush that I guess for her uses would probably be pretty great with coloring books and needing to be super tiny. I don't think this would be a very helpful brush if I were taking this out to paint landscapes because it's so small. I would want to bring along a larger travel brush, maybe a water brush, to go with it. Now the piece that is in here is plastic, so just so that you know if you haven't seen this set before, carefully get this out here for you. It's just in a piece of white plastic, and once the paints are wet, the pans are pretty much stuck in there. I think if I pressed hard enough I could probably get it to pop out, but they're pretty well set in there. I'll show you the underside there. Okay, now before we go ahead and paint with these, I did want to show you the comparisons that you guys like to see with the other brands. Alright, so first let's go ahead and take a look at primary yellow. We're just going to go kind of across the rows here in the little set. Primary yellow is a very nice neutral yellow. I don't have PY74 in any other brand, so I'm sorry, but I can't show you a direct comparison. I did pull some that I have that are kind of close to it. I have the Schmincke Lemon Yellow, Daniel Smith Hansa Yellow Light, and Van Gogh Azo Yellow Light. And I would say in terms of warmth, I think that both of the PY3s are cooler and that the PY154 is a bit warmer. Now the Sennelier is the most transparent out of all of these colors, but it's also the weakest strength in terms of intensity or vibrancy. You can see that it's much more washed out than some of the other colors. So if you like a nice soft yellow that is pretty neutral, it doesn't really lean cool or warm, and that is nice and transparent, this would definitely be a nice color for you. If we take a look at these two real quick before I put them away, we've got the Sennelier from the tube, from the sampler set, and the Van Gogh Azo Yellow Light, which are very similar in color. I definitely think that the Sennelier has a better transition from mass tone to diluted, but overall they're pretty similar. So overall, when I was swatching out the Senneliers, they reminded me a lot of my Schmincke colors. Both of these brands are very light in both value and intensity. They have a nice soft quality to them, so if you're a floral painter and looking for those qualities, I think they're both great options. That being said, on the flip side, if you like very vibrant, strong colors, I think that other brands are going to get you closer to that vibrancy. I thought it was a really interesting choice for them for their red in the kit to be a very, very orange red. This is called French Vermilion, and it's quite different from the Opera Rose that's in their other sampler kit. Magenta is more convenient for mixing a lot of different colors, because if you mix it with a little bit of yellow, you're going to get closer to true red or even the French Vermilion type of color. Whereas if you have a warm red, you can't really ever get to that magenta color. So I thought that it was a really interesting choice to use this as the red in this little set. That being said, I don't have this color in any other brand. It's PR242. But I have some others that are similar, including PR108 from Schmincke, PR254 from Van Gogh, and then a mixture of PR112 and PO73 from Mission Gold. And just like I mentioned before, the Sennelier and Schmincke are much lighter in vibrancy and value, while the Van Gogh and Vermilion are much more intense and stronger pigmented. Again, the Sennelier is much more transparent than any of the other colors. So now let's go ahead and take a look at Sennelier's the blue, and these are the differences between the tube and the pan. So just so you guys can see the difference in vibrancy, this is much, much more intense. And if I didn't have any information on them, I would actually guess that this was a whole different pigment. Like they don't look super similar to me. In particular, the Sennelier's blue from the pan never got to like that nice white color. It was very even toned, which again can be a good thing if you want a nice even wash, versus I was able to get a wider range in value on the tube paint. So I don't have any Sennelier's blue in other brands. It's PB:3 mixed with PY4, so that's phthalo blue and white. And instead of comparing it with phthalo blue, because the intensities aren't the same, I did pull a couple of other blues that I have. I have Turner's Cerulean and Schmincke's Prussian blue. Neither of them are going to be able to compare to this one, but I just wanted to be able to show you kind of a comparison with other colors so that you can see the difference. Alright guys, so you know my take on French Ultramarine by now. I've mentioned them in other reviews as well as in the color spotlight, that most ultramarines are basically the same. If we take a look at these three next to each other, the Sennelier, the Schmincke, and the Daniel Smith are all kind of in the same realm. I think that the Daniel Smith granulates the most. The Schmincke I think has the best color, vibrancy, and the Sennelier is, again, it's just kind of, it's ultramarine, so I don't have any complaints about it. It is made with two different pigments instead of just the one, so it's PB:29 and PB:15. So in order to give you a comparison with that, I pulled my Mission Gold, which is also made with honey, so that you guys can see a direct comparison. When it's compared to the Mission Gold, the Sennelier is nowhere near as vibrant. But again, if you do not want your paints to be vibrant, if you'd like a softer look, then I don't think there's anything wrong with the Sennelier. I apologize, I don't have much to say about this color. This is Sennelier's Phthalo Green Light, which is made with PG7 and PY153, so that would be this shade of yellow mixed with phthalo green blue shade. I am not a fan of this color. I don't own it in any other brand really, other than I just got some Jane Davenports and they have a color called Jiminy, which is very similar. It's made from PG7 and PY14. The Sennelier's is definitely a tiny bit less vibrant, but much, much more transparent and a nice cleaner look. Alright, now I know this is Carrie's favorite color, so I want to try and do it some justice on this review. The sap green in her set is her most used color, and she mentioned that she had to pick up some more because she ran out of it in her mini set here. Their sap green is made from ultramarine blue along with PY153, which is this yellow again, and it's a very lovely color. It's very, like all their other colors, it's very evenly toned, it's not overly vibrant, and it is very transparent. My closest comparison is Gram's Sap Green. Now this is not one that the company gave me for that review that I did. I went out and bought this one, and honestly I'm a little sad that I did. It's not my favorite sap green. I do prefer the Sennelier's. This is PG7 and PY110. It's also a very transparent color, but it just doesn't have the same vibrancy that a lot of other Gram paints has. However, it is very close in tone and in color to the Sennelier Sap Green. I've also got the Daniel Smith Sap Green, and this is, I believe, their older formula for sap green. I think they've changed it since here because this is made with quinacridone gold, which is no longer used in their mixtures. So I think that their current sap green is going to be a bit different than this. I love this color. I'm so sad that I didn't get an extra tube while they still had the old production line out, but it is quite beautiful, very vibrant, and this is my favorite sap green that I have worked with, and I do like it better than the Sennelier, but again, it's not available anymore, and I'm not sure the new version what that would look like. This last color that I wanted to compare the sap green to I thought was a bit similar. It's Daniel Smith's Serpentine Genuine. It doesn't have a pigment number because it's from an actual stone that was ground up, and it's a bit more yellow, and then it separates out into having this like little brown granulation, so it's not quite the same profile as the sap green, but I thought that Carrie might enjoy seeing this as well as the rest of you. Hey guys, this part of the review is going to be a little bit disjointed. I had completely finished filming everything and went to go edit it, and the last half of the video wasn't there. So I'm not sure what happened, but I need to go through the last two colors in the set and then come up with a new demo for you because the one that I did already got deleted. So here is the Burnt Umber from the Sennelier, and I want to compare it to the Daniel Smith Burnt Umber version. This is where I really have to say that I was definitely not impressed with Sennelier. I like all the other qualities of their paints in terms of, like, I think they'd be really good for floral painters and those nice soft qualities, even though I tend to prefer more vibrant colors. But their brown is kind of where I draw the line because I just don't think that there's anything really redeemable about this color. I know that sounds harsh, but I just couldn't get a very strong mass tone, and the color just wasn't very vibrant or deep or any of the things that I imagined Burnt Umber being. So those are just my thoughts. I'm sorry. And let's go ahead and take a look at the last color. Alright, so the last color in the set is the Paynes Grey. Now I don't have any Paynes Grey, which sounds a little bit odd because I know it's a pretty common color amongst other artists. However, I do have the Daniel Smith Neutral Tint, which is very similar in terms of its composition. So Paynes Grey is made with PB19, PB15, and PBK7, whereas the Neutral Tint is made with PB19, PB15, and PBK6. So there's just a slight difference there, where the Paynes Grey is a little bit cooler than the Neutral Tint. Also for comparisons here, just so you can see the difference between other darks, is Daniel Smith's Indigo and Schmincke's Ivory Black. Once again, the Sennelier and the Schmincke have a lot in common in terms of their overall vibrancy and the way that they flow on the paper. Alrighty guys, so I have to re-record this footage for the painting portion, so I apologize that it might be a bit hastier than I would have liked it to. To save time, I went ahead and pulled a sketch of a leaf that I had done before and traced it so that we can get to painting as fast as possible. I don't have the same colors that I had when I was doing the other version. Those were mostly Daniel Smith paints. So I'm just going to go ahead and wing it and try and see if I can get as close as I can with the colors that are in this mini set. Overall, I think that these are a really lovely brand of paint. I think they are very similar to the Schmincke in terms of they both have a very light touch to them and layer and glaze very, very well. They're not as vibrant as Daniel Smith, Imgran, or Mission Gold for the most part. However, they just require a different technique for using them. If you're someone who enjoys building up layers of color and doing lots of glazes, I can definitely recommend this brand of paint. As you saw throughout the process of this time-lapse video, the first layers were pretty lackluster and they dry a lot lighter than when you first apply them. But as you build up more color, the color really jumps up off the page. I'd like to thank Coloring Caria for sending this little mini Sennelier kit so that I could do this review. Again, her channel link is in the description if you'd like to go ahead and check out her work. Join me on Friday for Color Spotlight, where we're going to be taking a look at another color. And if you'd like to help out the channel, there is a card right here so that you can donate and help make more of these videos. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.